welcome to the second ever episode of Husker Dive. I'm joined today by Sadie Nee, my sister, who does all the editing for all these videos, and she'll be joining me for a lot of the podcast as well. And we're joined by Sam Griesel as well, our special guest today, Nebraska basketball player and new transfer. How you doing, Sam?
Doing well. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for coming. So how has your transition to Lincoln been?
Yeah, it's that just sounds weird because it's been home. It was home for 18 years of my life. But yeah, it has been a little bit of a transition, especially being in college here. Definitely a different scale than what I guess I would be used to just from being out in public and people, wanting my autograph or whatever, stuff like that. But it's been really cool to see kind of some of the community members, I guess, kind of get behind me and tell me that they were going to get rid of season tickets, but now that I'm coming back, they had to get them again. So that's a good feeling. And yeah, but it's been a lot of fun.
You went to Lincoln East, correct?
Yes, sir.
And do you guys ever make the state championship, I think?
We made it to state. It was, I can't remember the first or the last time before that they made it to state, but we were like the first time in like 10 years that they actually won districts and made it to state.
Oh,
My
dang.
senior year. But I think we still have we held the record for most wins in a season, like best record. So that was definitely a special year. But yeah, it didn't end. I think we were the 2 seed at state and we lost in the first round. So
Shoot, that's
what do you
tough.
need to do?
Yeah. All right. So you grew up in Lincoln and then decided to go to North Dakota, Fargo, North Dakota. What was that like?
Cold. I guess that's what I'll start off with. But other than that, I mean, I felt like I really fit in really well with Fargo. Even on so I was originally committed to South Dakota,
Mm.
but some things happened, and then I got my release or whatever, and then ended up committing to North Dakota State. And about a week later, I was there. So it wasn't a long period of me being committed, but yeah, it was an awesome experience. I met so many good people there. Sorry, my dog. But so many good people, especially my junior and senior year. I was able to do a lot of work in the community and kind of my passion is servant leadership. So I had a lot of opportunities for that. And just off the court, it was amazing. And then we had a lot of success on the court. Played with a lot of really good players. And, some of my teammates that I've had the last 4 years are still, my best friends, and they'll be my best friends for the rest of my life. So yeah, it was an awesome experience for sure.
Yeah. What's servant leadership, you said, was one of the things that you really liked about that. What does that mean to you?
I think it's really just like putting others before yourself, being unselfish, and doing kind of what you can, especially like with the platform that college athletes have, and even obviously now on a bigger scale for me personally, just being in the Big Ten, and obviously Lincoln loves their sports, but just kind of going the extra mile and doing what you can for the community, and try to just make people's days. Because I don't know, my philosophy is kind of like we're all here on earth to help each other, and should all help each other to live the best lives that we can. So I had a very fortunate upbringing. There wasn't a lot of struggle or anything. So anyone that's kind of going through that type of stuff, I like to help out if I can. So
Yeah, for sure. What was it like then returning to Lincoln? Because that's where you're from, your family lives, and I mean, I'm sure they're happy that you're back in Lincoln, but
yeah, there's a lot of people that I haven't talked to in a while that will come up to me or text me or whatever and say they're super excited. So obviously it's a really cool feeling. And I'm really excited to really embrace this whole year because I only get 1 year. My goal is to kind of, have a profound impact longer than a year. And, I want people to remember this team. And, I can be a part of that team this year. So obviously it means a lot to me, and it's going to be a special experience for sure.
yeah, for sure. So growing up, who whether it be your family or coaches or whoever, who impacted you the most on the basketball court and then also personally?
Um, Personally, I would say once I kind of got into high school, my mom just in life in general, just the way that she goes about her business and life with, she's very outgoing. She loves our houses are always full of friends and family. We would always have all that type of stuff, but just the way that she treated um, other people and kind of just live by the golden rule is something that I've always really looked up to. And we grow closer and closer every year. She's like my best friend. I tell her everything. Um, so just in life and personally, definitely my mom. And then in basketball, honestly, I would say my trainer, Thomas Villanco, who works with hundreds of kids here in Lincoln, especially now. But I met him my junior year summer. And at the time I didn't really have, I think I might have had like an NAIA offer, maybe a D2 offer. And that's kind of like where I thought I was going to go, to a D2 school. And he, gave me all this confidence. And obviously my parents had never been through the recruiting process or anything. So he helped me out immensely with that. Obviously it helped me out on the basketball court, but probably most importantly was just mentally, and how to approach the game mentally. Because to me, I mean, there's thousands of kids and athletes that have talent, but when you can kind of get over the mental hurdle, that just takes you to the next level. So just when it comes to basketball, he's probably had the biggest impact on my life so far.
Yeah, for sure. Sadie, you got anything to say about that whole
Well,
recruiting
I mean,
process and everything?
no, I completely agree because just you hearing you talk about like the mental battle and obviously us being on the same sport level, like it's a game to game thing. So, like, I guess I would just ask you that, like, did you, when you were like beating that mental battle, was it a game to game thing or did it happen like overnight or how did that go for you, like to get over just the mental struggles of basketball?
I think so. Originally, my kind of mental block or whatever was that I just wasn't like a very confident basketball player.
Hmm.
So kind of in high school, as I really started working and working, because that's where you really gain confidence. I think it's all in the work. So in high school, that was kind of my mental part of it or whatever, mental block. And then, but once I got to college, I think it kind of happens to every freshman almost, where you get to a certain point in the year and it's just, whether it's in January, usually for basketball, from what I've seen, is kind of like the dog days of basketball. It's like the middle of the conference. You can kind of like you're waiting until conference tournament, but you've played so many games, you're drained out, your body hurts. And I definitely experienced that. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just kind of attack each day, and take it day by day. I think that's the biggest thing. Just try to get 1% better each day. And my junior and senior year, kind of once you get that um, experience and stuff out of the way, it's much easier just because you've been through it, and you know that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. And especially when you have success the first few years, it helps a lot.
Yeah, I'm sure. So does that confidence and success then carry on with you as like you progress throughout your career, like it slowly built up on each other?
Yeah, for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah, my freshman and sophomore year, I didn't have a huge role on our team. Like I mean, I was a starter. I played, it's pretty significant minutes, but I was kind of more like a scrappy guy, like get the offensive rebound, stuff like that. And so I wasn't super confident. And then, my junior year, I kind of went into the year knowing that I was going to have a pretty big role, be a leading scorer for our team, and obviously my senior year as well. But I knew I needed to be confident to be able to do that and, put up numbers and give our team a chance to win.
Mhm.
So kind of just thinking about that too, just knowing that the team, trusts me, and I needed to execute.
Yeah, for sure. Kind of switching topics a little bit. I saw that your team's history that you guys had gone to March Madness during one of the COVID years, and then that game ended up getting canceled, I believe. What did that do to you? personally, like how did that affect you?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that honestly kind of goes with the mental stuff. Because my freshman year, we made the NCAA tournament, played in a playing game, won that, and then we played Duke. And then that was my sophomore year where we won. We were basically had the same team back. We were really good. And where we were hoping to make kind of a Cinderella run because we thought we had the pieces to do that.
Mhm.
And then COVID happened, and I don't even know how to explain it really. It's like it was just so unexpected, and you go from like this emotional, just super high of winning your conference tournament. And, your dream is to play in the NCAA tournament. And especially for the guys, we had a few new guys that year that hadn't played in the NCAA tournament. So just to, feel so bad for them. And then obviously the senior group that, was a great leadership from them. And we were really close as a whole team. Just feeling for them was probably the worst part, just knowing that their season was over, their college career was over, and it ended with something that we couldn't control, because that was a huge part of what our culture was just control what you can control, and it'll take care of itself. And it worked the whole year, and then something like that happens, and obviously completely out of your control. But I don't know, I think there's always a silver lining and a perspective to everything. So
Yeah. So other stuff that's out of your control, I would say, is injuries. I know that Sadie's been affected by them a lot. And I know that you have like a pretty well documented history of injuries to your knees, your hip, whatever it is. What lessons did you learn, like when you had to sit out games from injuries? What did that teach you?
to be honest, it kind of sounds weird, but I learned, and I am learning right now, just because I'm currently in my third month, I don't know, third or fourth month of rehab. And it's the longest one that I've ever dealt with. But what I learned from my past injuries is that there's more to life than just basketball. And it's like, I don't know, as college athletes, we're so flooded with weights and wanting to get extra work, practice, workouts, stuff like that. And we do it because we love the sport. But at the end of the day, like, life is a lot bigger than basketball, and this whole thing that we're doing is a lot bigger than just basketball. So focusing on, like, for me personally, just the servant leadership part, like, I have more time to do that and set aside time for that. But really just kind of, work on myself. And it's really tough because I'm not a patient person whatsoever. So that's what I really have been struggling with, especially this time around. But yeah, I mean, there's, like I've said, there's always a light at the end of the tunnel, and I can see it, and I cannot wait to get there. But in the time being, I'm gonna, enjoy everything that life has to offer that isn't basketball.
For sure. Sadie, have you experienced some of the same things, like transferring? And Sam, if you have too, like Sadie, you transferred down a level, like from D2 to NAIA. Did you experience a lot of like silver linings and just finding joy outside of the sport?
Yeah, I think that, like, just to go along with what Sam was saying, like, me being injured and transferring, so him and I have a lot in common. But like, having transferred that semester and then having to sit out a whole semester, I think that, like, it allowed me to take a step back and breathe and be like, I don't have to worry about getting up and going to practice and doing this, because, like, right now I have a lot of freedom in what I have to do, as well as, like, it allowed me to, for me personally, I like to serve others. And so, like, it was good for me to know that, like, I'm on the bench right now. So right now, how can I, like, serve my team is watching everything and being able to, like, talk them through it, to, like, be another coach. You become, especially being an upperclassman, you become, like, coaching staff. And I think that really, from just what I'm hearing Sam talk about too, like, helps with, like, the mental aspect. Like, I'm not even surprised that you're so mentally stable as a college athlete, because transferring, injuries, and just the whole lot of it, it's like, it really just causes you to step back and, like, have a new perspective, kind of. So yeah.
Sam, another crazy thing that I saw was that you went to Germany to play basketball.
Yeah. It was my summer after my freshman year of college. So my dad's originally from Germany. He lived there for
Uh,
28 years or so, and then came over. So when I was getting recruited out of high school, actually, when coaches found that out, they were like, "Oh, you have to get your German passport, get that German citizenship, because it's going to help you out so much when you graduate from college and hopefully play pro basketball." And I wasn't even thinking about like a German national team or anything. But then, yeah, I guess they watched me in the NCAA tournament, and I got a text or a call from a random number, and I was like, I guess I'll just answer this. Yeah, and it was so they invited me over. I think that summer, just with the German national team, we went to obviously Germany, and then Italy, Spain, and Israel. So it was just like I didn't think like an orange ball could like do that much for your life, but it's honestly like every single year I just get more and more amazed with like the opportunities that are presented. And I didn't necessarily, because I went over by myself. So I was over there with, there was a little bit of a language barrier. Like my teammates spoke English, but when they would talk to each other, they would talk in German. So I was just kind of like over there just playing basketball. But like once I came back to the States and I like really thought about it and understood what I just like went through, I was like so appreciative of it, and it was such an awesome experience. And if I get the chance to go back there and play professionally, that's definitely something I'm glad that I've already experienced. So I think that kind of will help me in the long run for sure.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. What was your favorite country you guys went to?
Oh, I mean, all of them were amazing. But I would have to go with Italy probably.
Why is that?
I was just gorgeous. We were like in the mountains kind of.
Okay.
And we landed. I have no idea like where we were, honestly. We landed in at some airport, obviously, and we were like driving through the mountains, and we drove for probably 2 or 3 hours, and like we would come upon like next to a town with like a lake just in the mountains, just
Mhm.
beautiful. And then we would just keep going, keep going. So I was really hoping that we were going to stay like somewhere by a lake and in the mountains and stuff. But I guess the mountain range just kept on going. So we
Wow.
ended up staying in a really nice spot. And it was really amazing. But all the places were, I mean, I've been to Germany several times. With my grandparents still live there.
Okay.
So I've been there several times, and it's gorgeous. So I can't wait to go back to Europe for sure.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. You don't speak German though?
My dad tried to teach me at a young age, and I wish he would have been. I'm gonna put this on him. At the time, I didn't want to, but I kind of wish he was more strict and like made me do it, especially at a younger age, because I think it's easier to learn a language
Mhm.
at a younger age. So we'll just put that on him for now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I took 4 years in high school. But when I went over there, I actually understood a lot more than I thought I would. It was just a matter of like speaking it back. I just didn't really have a chance unless it was like, "Hi, how are you?"
Yeah, yeah. Dang, that sounds awesome. All right. Sadie, you got anything about that?
No, I mean, I want to go to Italy. That's the only thing that I got. Like, I personally think that Sicily is its own country, and that's where I want to go. But like, Italy would be fine too. And that's all I could think about when he was talking about that. So,
I think one of the craziest things of like just the differences was like how they eat compared to over here. Like the breakfasts are way different. Like here you think like scrambled eggs, bacon, whatever, stuff like that. There it's like I don't even know, like just cheese, crackers, different slices of meat like prosciutto, stuff like that. And I'm like, I just want some scrambled eggs. But the only time I ever had eggs was like a hard boiled egg, which I mean it was good, but I did miss me some scrambled eggs and bacon for sure.
Yeah. All right. I got one more question, then we can go on to like some fun questions or whatever. Does that sound good?
Yes, sir.
All right. So what is like if you could sum up all your time in Fargo, how did that like those 4 years impact you?
Um wow. I I don't know. It like changed my life in a way that's like hard to explain. But especially with the last year that I had, just like seeing the impact that the team and like I personally could have, and just like by trying to do, like our big thing was like doing the next right thing. So I was obviously like I've talked about was the servant leadership. Like I would try to get out into the community and do what I could. I was fortunate enough to be an intern for a nonprofit up there called the Landon's Light Foundation. Just met the most amazing people, and they felt like family by the time that I was getting ready to leave. So that was tough, but just like it just made me appreciate like the quality of relationships that I was able to make, I guess, and how people like genuinely care about each other, and just the fact that I was even a part of that was really amazing. And it's definitely 4 years that I'm never ever gonna forget. And I think it was like obviously like we did some amazing stuff on the court, but the stuff I'm like really gonna remember is the relationships that I built, and the relationships that are gonna last a lifetime, and just like I guess the impact that I thought I had on people, but in return, like they had an even bigger impact on me, in my opinion. So
Yeah. And it sounds like it was not just like relationships on the team, but relationships with the community in
yeah,
Fargo.
community for sure. Yeah.
What'd you guys do for your internship?
So basically the foundation was started because of a kid named Landon Solberg, who I got the pleasure of knowing my first few years there. And then he passed away a few years ago, but due to cancer. And his parents started the foundation in his name. And with me knowing him, when I found out that they wanted kind of an intern for the foundation it was a year ago. So last summer, my coach told me, and I was like, yes, please, like try to get me into there. And basically what we did was just go help families that kind of went through what they went through with, the majority of the kids are under 18. And a lot of them are sick with cancer or whatever it may be. And just supporting the family, supporting the kid, obviously, and just trying to make the experience as best as possible. Because, there was plenty of people that helped Landon's parents and that family get through what they went through, which I can't even imagine. Like those two parents are the most very inspiring people, to say the least. And, that's obviously that foundation is a big reason why Fargo had such a big impact on me. And, I announced last year when the NIL stuff came out that I was going to donate 20% of whatever I made to the foundation, and planning on doing that again this year, just because the amazing people up there and the people involved with the foundation. So.
Wow, that's awesome. Hopefully that's something that like you said, your NIL, hopefully there's other organizations too that like you can help out with that, or children's hospitals or whatever it might be here too. That's awesome though.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so now for some lighter questions. Yeah, go for it.
Okay, I like to ask this question to every basketball player.
Okay.
Actually, I'm a point guard. So like, I just want to know who you think the greatest point guard in the NBA is of all time and right now.
The greatest point guard ever?
And there is a right answer.
She's wrong.
The greatest point guard ever to play basketball.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to go with Magic Johnson.
Ooh, that's a hot take. It's a hot take.
Okay, you're in.
It's a hot take. Hey, what can I say?
I honestly, I feel like it's hard to like define who, like, is Luka Doncic a point guard?
No, I'm talking about like 6 feet, bald. Like, let's just stay in that category.
Plays in Phoenix.
Where's the number 3?
Honestly, I love watching Chris Paul, and
There we go.
I have so much respect for him, and I think he is one of the greatest point guards ever. I don't think he's the best point guard in the league right now. I'll give you that. I'm sorry.
Who is?
I have to agree to disagree.
I mean, I don't know. Is Luka considered a point guard?
Yes.
Then I'll probably go Luka.
Yes,
I feel
he
like
brings the ball up the court. He's a facilitator of the offense.
sometimes the post brings the ball up the court. That doesn't make
You're the
no
point guard then.
Point
I
forward.
don't know, man. I don't know.
All right. Here's another question. So Sadie and I both played. What's that?
Chris Paul's never won a championship.
That's true.
But listen, here's the thing.
He was carried last playoffs too, or 2 years ago now.
2 years ago, I personally think he should have retired before coming in this next year, but he's still here. But I'm saying if he doesn't get it done this year, I'm just gonna let him go out in peace. But I think they can get it
I think
done
he's gonna go out on top. How is he on top? How would he be on top?
because he's gonna get a ring. This is what's gonna happen. Listen, and you can quote me on this. And when this happens, we're gonna look back and be like,
Yeah, well, I'm glad this is recorded.
yes. And so it's gonna be Phoenix Suns are gonna win.
DeAndre Ayton's leaving.
They're sweeping, actually. That's and then Chris Paul, age 38, is gonna just be like, I got my ring, I'm out of here, and I'm gonna just sit back and relax with him. He's going in retirement, so am I.
Sadie.
Yeah.
There
Well,
it is.
I like the confidence. I like the confidence.
Thank you.
Wow. All right. Okay. That is a hot take. All right. So Sadie and I both played AAU basketball. And so we have some crazy stories. Like one time there was this whole, the parents started fighting and the cops had to come and separate everybody. So I want to hear what's like your craziest AAU, EYBL, whatever story.
Gosh. My craziest story. Honestly, it's not like anything like that. I wouldn't say, but so I was actually in Vegas playing. So I played with Omaha Sports Academy, OSA.
Okay.
So we were in the Adidas Gauntlet, and I was in Vegas playing in the same gym as Zion Williamson and LaMelo were going to play each other. And they weren't on the same court as us, but we were an hour before them and they were on a different court. And so once we got done with our game, we walked over and it was just flooded with people. And they had to lock the doors to the outside. There was only a certain amount of people that could come in, and people were banging on the doors just to get into the game. And there was just rows of people. It was I think Lonzo was there. I think some other NBA players were there, but yeah, that was cool just to see. You could see as they let them in, everyone's just sprinting to the court.
Mm-hmm.
So that was pretty neat.
Dang. Who was the craziest player you played against then?
Ooh. I mean, I'll probably have to go with Zion my freshman year.
You played against Zion? Oh yeah, you said you played Duke.
Yeah, that was the year that they had Zion, RJ Barrett, and Cam Reddish.
Dang.
So that was a tough team.
That's wild. All right. Okay.
I have another hot take. Hot I don't know. Okay, some people, I'm just gonna straight up ask. Do you like Chipotle better or Qdoba? I don't know if we've had
Good
both.
question.
But
we have differing opinions on this.
On my team, this is a heated debate.
I mean, Chipotle by a mile.
Yes, thank you.
I can't do it.
Chipotle is so much better.
I got a question. Do you guys live or have you been to Lincoln?
I've been there a good amount of times. I live in Virginia now, but we have family that lives in Nebraska, so I've gone to Lincoln a lot.
Okay. Well, if you ever do go to Lincoln, you got to try agave.
Agave.
Yeah.
I've heard of that.
I feel like I've heard of that too.
I don't know if it's a chain. I just know it's in Lincoln, and it is amazing. It's like Chipotle, but some would argue maybe a little bit better. I don't know.
Oh, that's a hot
But when
take.
it comes to Chipotle and Qdoba, I mean Chipotle for sure.
Okay. All right. So if you had a full free day with your best friends, you were just hanging out with the boys, what would you do from morning to night?
I'll just go to the lake.
Okay, that's a good answer.
It's kind of actually funny. My parents had a cabin the last 6 years, but we decided to get rid of it last summer because my plan was to go overseas, and it was hard for Dad to take care of two houses, and it's right next. It's 30-40 minutes from Lincoln, and So obviously we didn't think I was going to be back here. And now it's like I'm back and I could help out so much more than I've even been able to help out because I would be here all the time. But we don't have it anymore. So kind of a soft subject, but yeah, I would go to the cabin. Cabin, like being on the lake is like my happy place. I feel like it's impossible to be in a bad mood when you're on the lake, on a boat, whatever. I love the tube and wake surf and stuff like that. So I go to the lake.
That's a good answer. Sadie's in Michigan right now. That's where my family's from, and we have a boat that we like to go tubing on and stuff. So I get that. That's a good answer.
I don't tube.
No, Sadie doesn't.
When I was like growing up, I absolutely loved being on the tube, and then I started driving the boat all the time and just whipping people off, and now that's more fun than tubing.
Yeah,
that's a good time. All right, we only got like 3 or 4 minutes left, because we don't pay for premium. So if you, all right, so you got 1 week, right? And you can go anywhere in the world with anybody. Where are you going, and what person, could be like a celebrity, it could be anybody in the world, are you bringing?
Wow. Okay. Who am I bringing? I would probably say either Will Smith or Matthew McConaughey. And then, gosh, I think like Bora Bora is super cool. Like somewhere in Indonesia, or honestly Italy.
Okay. Was the Will Smith slap fake?
Hot take.
Hot
take.
I was a little bit disappointed to see that, just because I think Will Smith is for sure like top 2 actors, and maybe not 2.
Ooh.
For me.
Okay, top actors. Go. Name them.
Will Smith.
And
Matthew McConaughey.
Okay, that makes sense.
Well, I've read both their books, and I really like think that they've lived just like dope lives. So it'd be cool to go on a excursion with them.
All right. So last question now. This one came straight from my mom. Special request. She said to ask you, because mullets and mustaches are coming back in style, would you ever consider growing out a mullet or growing a mustache?
No, absolutely not. I think I would have to get like a ridiculous amount of money to do that. Yeah, I just can't do that.
No. Okay. Hey.
I will say I think I could grow a mustache. I think it would look atrocious. So yeah, I'm gonna steer away from the mullet mustache look.
Hey, if y'all once you get to the March Madness tournament and I'm watching you on TV, I'm expecting to see the little Top Gun Maverick Rooster stash right here.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll think about it. About it.
I'm liking that. I'm liking that take right there.
Right.
Get the whole team to grow out a stash.
Exactly.
Wait, do you know Brant Bakes on the football team?
I don't think so.
Oh, he played on the basketball team for a game in the Big Ten tournament because he needs some players. He's an offensive lineman. He wore like a headband.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw training table, like the place that we eat.
Yeah. Yeah, he like grew out a full stash and headband and like the long hair and everything. So I think everybody's just got to rock that look.
Yeah, that was get offensive lineman team.
Yeah. Well, any last words?
Not really. It was a lot of fun. Thank you guys for having me on.
Thanks for coming on. It's been a great episode. Thank you for coming on. It was a big honor. A lot of fun. So yeah, thanks, man.
Well, good luck with the future of the pod.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, appreciate it. Have a good day.
You too. It's nice to meet you guys.
Nice to meet
Nice
you.
to meet you.